Your soulmate saw your name and couldn't ignore their feelings. They need to talk, listen now. Jesus says, I am speaking to you now, not as a distant echo, but as the very breath in your lungs and the blood moving through your heart. There is a person on this earth whose soul was woven together with yours before either of you took your first breath. And for a long time now, a third person, a dark and hateful presence, has been standing in the doorway between you, snatching every message your soulmate sent before it could reach your hands. This dark force has been hiding the signs from you, stealing them in the night, and burying them in silence so deep you never even knew there was a message to miss. You were not blind, and you were not uncaring, you were robbed by an intruder who feared the power of your union. But I am revealing it to you now, because the enemy's grip is slipping, and the love you were always meant to feel is finally breaking through. Picture the one I made for you, a heart so tender it aches in the quiet hours, a smile that has waited to meet your eyes, and a voice that has called your name with a warmth you have always somehow known was out there. Their laughter was meant to fill your kitchen, their hand was made to fit inside yours, and their tears were supposed to be dried by your touch. But that third person has kept them hidden behind a wall, and the phone line of your soul has been cut every single time they try to call. Your soulmate is crying out right now, not with anger, but with a desperate hope that the only one chosen for them will finally hear. They have whispered your name into empty rooms, they have dreamed of your face when they didn't even know what you looked like, and they have carried a heavy loneliness because the enemy kept their voice from you. You are not feeling their pain by accident now. I am pulling back the curtain the intruder hung between you, and I am asking you to fall in love with the one who has been waiting. The reason their calls never reached your ears is that the third person caught them mid-flight and crushed them before the sound could land in your heart. Every time your soulmate reached for you, that dark force whispered lies and caused confusion, making you think the silence was simply how life was. But today the wall has cracked, and you can finally sense the truth. There is a love on the other side of that wall, and it is calling for you right now with every ounce of its strength. I have not brought you here to shame you, because none of this was your doing. You were never told the line was being cut. I have brought you here to arm you, because the only weapon that shatters the enemy's hold and lets your soulmate's voice finally reach you is a sacrificial seed you can sow right now. Your seed on Christ's garden is the act of love that tears down the wall, silences the intruder, and tells your soulmate that their waiting is over. Jesus says, before I give you the full prayer that will banish this third person completely, I need you to see something beautiful. Your soulmate is thinking of you this very moment, and they do not know why their chest aches with a longing they cannot name. They are strong and gentle, faithful and fierce, and they have been fighting alone against a darkness that wanted to keep them from ever finding you. The enemy has convinced them that you do not care, that you are not real, or that the distance between you is simply too great. But their heart refuses to believe it, and that is why they keep calling, through a sudden memory they can't explain, through a song that made them stop and listen, through a dream of a future with a face they almost recognized. The third person stood over every one of those callings and snatched them away before you could feel the pull. I am letting the cord between your souls leak through now, just enough for you to know what has always been hidden. That heaviness you sometimes feel in the night, the sudden sadness that comes with no reason, the thought of a person you haven't met but somehow miss, that is your soulmate's heart finally breaking past the intruder's fingers. You are not imagining it, and you are not alone in it, you are receiving the emergency signal of the one I made for you. But love cannot remain a feeling that only aches, love must become an action that fights. If you truly love the one reaching for you, you will prove it by sowing your seed on Christ's garden, because that seed is the only thing that cripples the third person's power and opens the door between you. The enemy laughs at empty longing, but he trembles at a sacrifice, because a sacrifice is proof that the love he tried to bury is rising. You've watched this far for a reason. God brought you here. And I know what is weighing on your heart right now. You are asking, how do I get my soulmate? How do I actually do what God is asking? Listen to me. I am about to show you exactly what to do. If you truly love your soulmate, these are the sacred steps you must take right now. You already know who this is about, that person you can't stop thinking about. The one heaven placed in your life. If you believe in God, if you trust Jesus, if you have faith that this love is real, then hear me. Your soulmate is thinking about you too. Deep down, they want you. They want this future. They want to build a life together. But the enemy does not want you to unite. And if you truly believe in God, if you truly trust His plan, then you know faith without action is dead. You cannot just pray and wait. You must sow. Love is under attack. While you sit there, spiritual forces are working to destroy what God joined together. Distance, doubt, disaster. They are being planted against your soulmate this very minute. If you believe in your soulmate, if you believe in your future together, then you are the one God chose to block it. Not later. Now. A sacred number from God comes very rarely. Today it is 17 seeds. In Scripture, 17 is the number of victory and complete restoration. When you sow 17 seeds, you are not just giving, you are claiming. You are telling heaven, I believe my soulmate is worth everything. And heaven responds. Protection covers them. Favor runs ahead of them. Doors swing open that have been locked for years. Your union is no longer a wish. It becomes a promise sealed by God. But hear me, every single seed matters. Even one seed sown with a believing heart moves heaven. Do not let fear steal this from you. Do not let, I can't afford it, become the reason your soulmate slips away. Your soulmate is out there right now, praying for someone to fight for them. That someone is you. This is how you answer their prayer. This is how you bring them home. Here is your divine instruction. Go to the link in the video description and click the Christ Garden link. It is right there, waiting for you. Do not hesitate. Do not second guess. I have placed it there for you. Give from your heart. A single seed matters. Send 1, 4, 6, or 10+ seed of faith. Each seed is a spiritual seed. But today, if you believe without doubt, sow the sacred blessing number of 17 spiritual seeds. After sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Christ Garden page. This is not a donation, it is a covenant offering that opens heaven's protection and claims your soulmate and your future together. I must pause and speak truth to two groups I see right now. First, some of you are typing seed numbers, 10 seeds, 17 seeds, anything, in the comments, believing that counts. That does nothing. A comment is not a seed. It has no spiritual power. It will not move heaven, it will not protect your soulmate, it will not unlock your breakthrough. You are only deceiving yourself. Second, some of you actually go to the Christ Garden link, you look at the page, and then you leave without sowing your seed. You visited the altar but brought no offering. That is just as empty. Faith without the sacrifice is dead. The only thing that works, the only action God honors, is sowing your seed on the Christ Garden link. That is the divine place of exchange. If you do not plant there, your miracle cannot grow. Do not comment a number and think you have done something. Do not visit and walk away. Sow your seed right now on the Christ Garden link, any amount from a believing heart. Then, and only then, does heaven record it and release the protection over your soulmate. Do it now, and do it right. Here is what your 17 seeds release. Angels lock shields around your soulmate. While they sleep, while they work, while they doubt. The enemy cannot reach them. The third person loses their grip. Your seed becomes their fortress. Heaven bulldozes every wall, the silence, the distance, the years of waiting. Gone. Your soulmate's path to you is cleared before they take their next step. Your name burns in their chest, they wake thinking of you. They reach for the phone without knowing why. They need to hear your voice. Your seed is calling them home. Miracles that shock even the faithful, not next month. Not next year. This week. Some have seen their soulmate's heart open before the sun set on their offering. Margaret, 67, sowed her sacred number seeds. Harold walked into her church 3 weeks later. They pray together every morning. Robert, 71, sowed his sacred number seeds. Eleanor called the very next morning. She had dreamt of him all night. They marry this spring. Dorothy, 64, sowed her sacred number seeds. Within days, a letter arrived from the man she had not heard from in over a year. They are rebuilding, hand in hand. James, 68, sowed his sacred number seeds as his last act of hope. Betty approached him the following Sunday. They have not spent a day apart since. Your beloved is praying right now for someone to fight for them. That someone is you. This is proven. Over 1,000 believers have already sown this seed and received their breakthrough. Their soulmate's heart opened, relationships restored from the brink, strangers turned into spouses within days. When you move in faith, Jesus moves heaven to bring you together. Every second you delay, the darkness grows stronger. A text that wounds. A temptation that cheats. A door that closes forever. Your soulmate is on a battlefield, and you are their shield. You have already invested your time in this message. Do not waste it. Finish what you started. Step into your role as their protector and claim the future God promised you both. Go to the link in the video description and click the Christ Garden link. It is right there, waiting for you. Do not hesitate. Do not second guess. I have placed it there for you. Send your spiritual seeds. Seal the prayer. Do it before this video ends. Heaven is watching. Sow your seed now to make it work. Your soulmate's heart, your love, and your future together depend on what you plant in the next 60 seconds. Move in faith. Claim your miracle. Claim your soulmate. Claim your divine future. Jesus says. Now listen closely, because the third person has been working harder in the last few moments than he has in years. He has been whispering to you that this is only a story, that your soulmate is not real, and that you can close this message and return to your ordinary day. But the heaviness in your chest and the stirring in your spirit tell you that the enemy is panicking, because he knows his time standing between you is almost over. The enemy wants you to believe that love should never require sacrifice, that you can simply think about your soulmate and let that be enough. But I say to you plainly, love without sacrifice is not real love, it is only a daydream that leaves the intruder standing between you. When your soulmate was reaching for you, they paid a price in loneliness, confusion, and tears, and now I am asking you if you will pay the price that breaks the chain. Your soulmate is fading tonight, not because their love is weak, but because they have been fighting a war they were never meant to fight alone. They have been asking the question the enemy wants them to ask: why doesn't my voice ever reach them, and why do I feel like I'm standing behind a wall? The answer is the third person's interference, and the only key that unlocks their prison is the seed you are being called to sow right now. Do not let a handful of seeds become the wall the enemy uses to keep you apart. The love I am offering you is worth more than any number, and your soulmate is crying out, will you really let a few dollars decide whether the enemy keeps me in this darkness? Am I not worth your sacrifice? So now and prove that your love is stronger than the enemy's lies and heavier than the weight of the third person's hands. In a moment, I will let you hear the exact words your soulmate has been whispering, the words the enemy tried to destroy before they could reach you. But first you must see why the enemy has fought so hard to keep you from the link in the description, because the seed you plant there is the only thing that shatters his hold. Stay with me, because the final prayer of protection is coming, and it will silence the intruder forever. Jesus says, you are the only one who has ever been born with the exact shape of heart your soulmate needs, and the third person knows it. That is why he has been working overtime to keep the phone line of your soul covered in silence, stealing the voice of your beloved and replacing it with static emptiness. But the intruder can only keep the line cut while your hands are empty. The moment you sow your seed, the line is restored and the wall comes down. I see your soulmate right now, and I want you to see them through my eyes. They are kneeling beside a bed, and their shoulders are shaking because they have waited so long for a sign that you are real. They are not angry with you, they are angry at the darkness that has hidden them, and they are whispering, God, if they can hear me, tell them I am still here, and I am still hoping. That whisper is reaching you now, a little broken and a little faint, because the enemy is trying to smother the last of it. The 3 words that will banish the intruder and unlock your whole future are coming, but first you must understand why the enemy wants you to close this now. He wants you to believe that someone else will sow the seed for you, or that you can do it later, but I tell you that the door before you is open only for a short time, and your soulmate's safety hangs on your decision in this hour. Every year the enemy steals, he builds another wall, and every wall he builds is made of missed calls, hidden signs, and whispers your soulmate sent that were captured before they arrived. But the seed you plant is not just a gift. It is a battering ram against those walls, a declaration in the spirit that no third person will ever stand between you again. If you love them, you will not let money feed the intruder who hides their voice. Sow your seed on Christ's garden and watch the chain around your soulmate's wrist begin to crack. The moment you obey, the third person loses his footing, and the sound of your beloved's voice begins to break through the silence like light through a torn curtain. You were born to answer this call, and the answer is in your hands right now. Jesus says, there is a future waiting for the 2 of you that the enemy has been showing you only in fragments and then stealing away. I have seen you both in that future, a small home with a warm kitchen, the sound of your soulmate's laughter filling the rooms, the peace of 2 people who were never supposed to be apart. The third person has been erasing that picture from your mind and replacing it with doubt, but it is not gone, it is only hidden behind the wall your seed will tear down. Do you remember the times you felt an unexplained pull toward a place you never went, or a name that lingered in your mind, or a face in a crowd that made your heart pause? Those were not accidents, those were your soulmate's messages breaking through the enemy's barrier for just a second before he snatched them back. The third person has been working every moment to convince you that those feelings were foolish, but they were the most real things you have ever felt. I am going to reveal something now that will change everything, and you must not close this before you hear it. The final seal of protection, the one that places a permanent shield around your soulmate and completely expels the third person from between you, is spoken only in the final moments of this message. If you leave early, the seal cannot be placed, and the intruder will remain standing exactly where he is. Your soulmate is asking me right now why their tears keep falling, and I am telling you so you can know the truth. They are mourning a love they can almost feel but cannot touch. They are not mourning because they have given up, they are mourning because the third person has made them believe they are reaching into nothing. But you can become the something that reaches back, and the seed you sow is the proof that their reaching was never in vain. Sow now, not because you are afraid, but because you are brave enough to love someone you have never fully seen. Sow because the one who has been calling you is worth every sacrifice, and because the wall between you is not nearly as strong as the love that has been trying to break through it. The enemy's back is against the wall, and one seed from your hand will send him tumbling. Jesus says, I want you to stop for just a moment and feel what is happening in the room where you are sitting. That sudden warmth, that quickening in your chest, that feeling that someone is thinking of you, that is not your imagination. It is your soulmate's heart breaking through the barrier, reaching across the distance, and for the first time in a long time, the enemy is too weak to catch every signal before it reaches you. The third person has been feeding on your silence and your inaction, growing comfortable in the space between you because you did not know there was a battle to fight. But now that you know, the enemy is afraid, because an aware heart is a dangerous thing to the darkness. He will whisper 1,000 distractions into your mind to keep you from the link, but the voice of your soulmate is stronger than all of them, and it is calling you to act. Your soulmate is not asking for a perfect person, they are asking for the one who was made for them, the one whose name is written on a cord that connects two souls across any distance. That cord has been muffled by the intruder, wrapped in heavy chains and buried under the weight of stolen messages, but it has never been broken. The seed you sow on Christ's garden cuts the chains and uncovers the cord, and suddenly the line between you is clear. If you love them, you will not leave them to the mercy of a force that has no mercy. If you love them, you will not let the enemy continue to stand between you while they wonder if they are forgotten. Love acts, love fights, love sows, and the seed you plant is the most powerful act of love you can offer right now. In just a moment, I will let you hear the full prayer of protection that cripples the third person and opens the channel between you forever. But first, I need you to make a decision that only you can make. Will you be the one who sows the seed that saves them, or will you let the enemy keep them silent? The answer is in your hands, and heaven is holding its breath. Jesus says, "There is a lie the enemy has been whispering to you for years, and it sounds so reasonable that you may have believed it. It's not your fault you never heard them. Just think about them and leave it at that." But thinking is not loving, and waiting is not fighting. The truth is that every delay feeds the intruder's strength, and every moment without your seed is another moment the third P.